Welcome to TradeTheNBI.com. This is John Sportis for the 11th of September. Well, we've got continued sideways action here as the short-term buyers have been enough to keep things moving forward. We're still getting very soft readings, though, from a DOC standpoint. We've got some stability from long-term buyers, but nothing overly dramatic. It won't take much for a turn to happen here on the Power Mo, which would set up a new buy confirm that we're not getting a dip below the red line on the extreme histogram to start with here. Bodes well for it supporting at this particular point right at the institutional buyer level at 50%. They'd love to do that, so that's what we've got so far. NASDAQ looking very similar, actually a little bit stronger I think from an extreme standpoint, and definitely the shakeout had already made the beginnings of a turn, so it may take another day or two before things can flush out, which would take us into the next week. Gold just flatlining at this particular point, and the euro bouncing off claims from the EU that they're not planning to do any additional stimulus or things like that, which would make them an inverse to the rest of what's going on, where the U.S. has talked about more stimulus, and Trump even announced the other day that they're looking at executive action if the Congress doesn't do anything. So we'll see if any of that's able to take place, because there are all sorts of hurdles with doing that kind of thing. And from an oil standpoint, they're going to have to step back into this one to provide some support for it. Otherwise, it's a reflection of the fact that this remote work and everything else is really going to have a significant impact on quite a bit of society. But I did see the JPM was demanding that people come back into the office and restoring some degree of normalcy. So from the other day, we ended up with our short signal that brought us back down, and then we bounced off of it and made new highs early on in the day. Look at how small the action was, though. So very weak from a volume standpoint, because that's like a holiday type range. We've almost got half that much just in the pre-market so far this morning, which is interesting enough. And as it peaked out, we got very close to positive exchanges. They weren't quite positive, but when they're yellow, I'm always looking for those to come and fill back. And once they did, just couldn't catch anything without a reset of steel, and you can see that steel deals just stayed completely to the upside. And so every time you had a dip back below of steel underside and then back above, it just signaled new sell configurations. And then the last time, right over there, it just literally cascaded down to a new low, and we ended up with a pretty deep shakeout that started building. And then by the time we got an actual conversion based on the new adjustments that I was doing from the long short algo, as well as signaling from the Power Mo 2, you didn't get a confirmed buy until all the way over here, which was just above the 23%. We can look at what the actual close on at 47, and here we sit at 57 right now. So it was spot on from that standpoint, where it's looking for that basing action that then presents the turnaround and leaving the continued decline as just what it is, continued decline. As always, though, I will update anything that's relevant on the Skype chat and keep working to make the adjustments on the paint thing. I had a few calculation conflicts that didn't work the other day, so I'm going to figure those out and hopefully get it squared away before the weekend. As always, though, trade well. Talk to you later.